Hey everybody, this is vlog 29, and today was a very strange day, and I'll update you on the past couple days as well. But first, let's talk about why today was so weird. Okay, I woke up at about 1:45 in the afternoon. To me, that would be 13:45 because I keep all my clocks on 24-hour time or world time, or in some people call it military time. But it makes more sense to me, and I get less confused when people tell me times because I can. 12-hour time just seems what? How can there possibly be two 1 o'clocks? You know, that just doesn't make any sense to me. It's just easier for my brain to understand the where the time and what have you, because my mind is very. It's not like it used to be before I had these mental illnesses. Before, I had a wonderful sense of time, but now I don't have it. So the only way I can actually equate time is by a watch or something else that tells time. I have multiple clocks throughout my room. Obviously, you can't see any of them right here in the video screen. But you know, I have the clock in the computer, and that's synced up on my watch, which is solar powered, and it also has a radio receiver in it that receives the uplink from the atomic clock in Colorado. So anyway, clocks are a really big thing for me. Anyway, I guess my attention to time has led me to them, and I'm very fascinated by clocks and the workings of clocks and such. But I could talk for hours about clocks, but I'm not going to do that because that's not what this is about. That's not what these videos are for. But anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way. Basically, okay. Here's what's weird about today. Like I said, I woke up in it, and I looked at my watch, and my watch said it's at 13:45, which is 1:45 in the afternoon, and I was taken aback by. I couldn't believe that I actually had slept that long. Not only that, but my parents were supposed to be leaving to go up to the mountains where my sister goes to college, and they were going to go find a Christmas tree. Excuse me. A lot of my meds give me dry mouth, so I especially when I talk, my mouth gets really dry. Anyway, back to the Christmas trees. So, anyway, these Christmas trees. Well, no, that's not right. Go backwards. They went up to get a Christmas tree. Hooray. It's not really something that I take pleasure in anymore. When I was a kid, and even during my 20s, I enjoyed the whole Christmas tree thing, but in the latter years of my 20s, I have slowly become disinterested. Part of that is because of my mental illness. My mental illness makes me disinterested in many things that I used to have a great passion for. But anyway, so they're going to pick up a Christmas tree, and they'll be bringing that back home here tomorrow. It's probably sometime in the afternoon or evening. Oh yeah, right. Back to the weird part of the day, because I keep going off on tangents. Anyway, like I said, I woke up at 1:45, and my parents were still here, so this confused me even further. I was like, well, I guess they're not going to go anywhere. But then, of course, I see their luggage, so I'm like, okay, I guess they are going somewhere. So anyway, they I say goodbye, and they're off to the mountains, and then I proceed to have breakfast, or whatever you want to call it at that time of day, and I finish that and go back upstairs, and for some strange reason, I decide to lie down on my bed. Um, I didn't feel like I was tired, but apparently I was, because I fell asleep for like 2 hours. Or actually, it was probably more like 2.5, maybe even almost three. Because I looked at my watch, and I when I woke up, and I was, one, amazed that I actually had fallen asleep. And two, I was really surprised that not only did I fall asleep, but for the duration of the amount of time that I was asleep was also intriguing, because I was like, okay, I just slept till I slept into the afternoon, and then I fall asleep literally an hour later. I fall asleep, and I sleep for like 2.5 hours. What the fuck? I mean, really, I had no other response. I was just confused. I mean, because I opened I opened, not my shutters, but I opened my blinds, or they're not blinds, they're curtains. They're blackout curtains, and it was getting dark. So that was really weird. So I got up, and of course, the last thing that I remember doing, of course, was eating. And I ended up, of course, waking up, and I was hungry. So I'm like, okay, this is really weird. Because the last thing I remember doing, excuse me, was eating. So it was kind of strange. But anyway, I got up, I got cleaned up, and then I went out for dinner. I went out to a local pub called the Sly Fox, and they have fucking brilliant fish and chips, and they have a great, and they have a fantastic lineup of beers in bottles and also on tap. So that's what I did. I had two beers, one from the tap, one from the cooler, in a bottle. The first beer was it was a pretty heavy beer. I kind of guessed it while I was drinking it. It felt like it was a Russian Imperial Stout, and that's exactly what it ended up being. And it was like 10.2% alcohol. So it was a pretty heavy drink, and I had that before I ever got my meal. So I had to, of course, have something to drink with the meal. So I ordered an Indian brown ale from Dogfish Head Brewery, which is in Maryland. So that was good. And so I had a good dinner, and then I came back here, and yeah, I just started listening to some music and stuff like that, and what have you. But back yesterday, on Friday, I had my last appointment with my psychiatrist. He's, like I've mentioned this before, he's kind of being forced into retirement. And it's unfortunate, because he's, at least to me, for the past over 4 years since the mental illness first reeled its ugly head, he's been an extremely great help, even if though at times it was difficult to get in touch with him when I had issues. I actually uh, as much as it was a bother, in a way, he always treated me as an intelligent individual. And that's one thing that I like about doctors, is when doctors treat you like you're not, 10 years old. Um, and they look you in the eye and they actually talk to you like another intelligent human being. So it was very nice to know that he was able to tell me these things, and he was using the scientific. He was very verbose in his descriptions, and not only that, but he would give me the names of medications that are the not really. Sometimes they were the generic names, but other times they were the actual name of the med, and my knowledge of Latin really came in to help with that. So to be able to understand what exactly which meds were what, and there's a trend in the way meds are named that tells you what kind of what they are. I'm not going to go into that because that's another quagmire of talking, and yeah. But he decided that there's this pill these pills that I'm on. This particular med is called venlafaxine. It's a treatment for major depressive disorder. We're upping the dosage on that because that actually seems to be working, because ever since I first started taking it, I started feeling better. I wasn't as depressed. I was much more there were the things that I wanted to do, I found joy in again, or at least I found some form of enjoyment, because that's what happens when you're depressed. You get depressed, and then you lose interest in things that things that you like doing, you lose interest in. So it actually helped me get back to a not normal level, but a better situation, and hopefully upping them again will be even better. Let's see here on family notes. Earlier this week, my mom was going to a local coffee shop, and they have multiple little driveways and stuff, and there's big blue gravel, the big gravel, not the really fine small rocks, but the larger ones, the ones that's not nearly as stable. Well, anyway, so my mom, she was going up to the building, and she slipped on the gravel and broke 3 of her toes. She broke her second and third toe just straight across. They were straight breaks. And then she believes that, even though they didn't really say it, but she said she saw the x-ray, and my mother used to be, she used to be an ER nurse, and she was looking at the x-ray, and it looked like she had actually also chipped something on her big toe, on her left foot. So that's 3 toes that are broken. But she's been a beast at it. I mean, she's just taking basic pain meds, like an Aleve, every day, and as if something like that were to happen to me, I'd be eating Vicodin left and right because I can't stand pain, man. I'm the biggest wuss when it comes to pain. I mean, that's just one thing that I can't handle. I mean, I know whatever that might people might go, oh, you're a weakling. Shut up. Everybody's got their, you know, everybody's got something that makes them look weak to the rest of the human race in some way, shape, or form. And mine is pain. I just don't like pain. I experienced plenty of pain when I was a child. Emotional and physical pain. You know, getting into fights at school and stuff like that. So, but with that happening to Mom, I have to pick up some extra responsibilities, and such as meals, preparing of dinner, and going to the grocery, and things like that. So it's a little bit extra stress on me, but you know, I mean, what can you do? I mean, I can't do anything. I can't go back and, you know, I can't magically fix my mother's toes. So I help in the way that the only way I know I can. Excuse me. So anyway, other than that, a couple TV shows I've been watching. I know they started. Why am I yawning? I've slept so much today. This is ridiculous. Hey. Anyway, I'm watching two shows at the moment. One of them is Elementary, which is this new take on, because I had been watching Sherlock, which was on BBC America, or was on the BBC, and I just finished it up, and that was absolutely brilliant. And then I found out, of course, that there was an American television show that was making a Sherlock Holmes television show, and it's called Elementary. It's got Lucy Liu in it as Jane. I think her name is Jane, but whatever, something Jane Watson, or is it Jan? I'm not sure, but you know, basically the female form of John Watson, Dr. John Watson, and at least they kept the guy who plays Sherlock. He's British. He used to work, and they explain it in the show. He used to work for Scotland Yard, so he's British, but they have him being a recovering addict, a drug addict. I'm assuming, because it hasn't really gotten too specific into what type of drugs, but it's either recreational or alcohol. I'm not entirely sure, but anyway, I watched the first episode right before I did this video, so it was entertaining. Wasn't nearly as entertaining as Sherlock from the BBC, but I'm gonna try it out for a couple more episodes, see how it feels, and I'll figure it out. Not only that, but I'm rewatching something that was on earlier this year I think it was during the summer, or it could even have been last year for all I know. But the History Channel had created a series called Hatfields and McCoys, and it was a 3-episode mini-series about the family feud between the Hatfields and the McCoys. The Hatfields from West Virginia and the McCoys from Kentucky. Um, and that's a really good watch. It's good. Recommended if you're into post Civil War um, history and what was going on during those times. So anyway, other than that, there's not really a whole lot else going on. I mean, I gotta find another. Obviously, I gotta find another psychiatrist. I mentioned the name of one to my previous psychologist, and he said that the guy was good and that he would probably be a good choice. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a move there, move the pieces on the chessboard, and get an appointment with him and see how things turn out. If I don't seem to gel with the guy, then I've got a couple of backups of people who I could possibly see. But I'd like to keep it within the city here. Well, we're really not a city, we're just a bunch of towns. We just happen to kind of collect together. Or 3 towns here. There's Pinehurst, and there's Southern Pines, and there's Aberdeen. And kind of create a triangle. But yeah, no big city stuff here, but we are sort of all connected. But anyway, that's got nothing to do with anything. So hope you guys have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take it easy.